elements that is used for that purpose. So for that, what you are supposed to do is you are supposed to at least write these elements, or at least you need to practice them in the coding. It will be okay if you write the code itself, or else if you execute them and see, so that will make you more easy to remember the elements. Because at the end of the subject you might be end up with so many elements, right? So in that case, it is quite difficult that if you forget the few elements regarding that for what purpose it is used. But once it is asked in the examination, it may be again difficult for you to recall which element is used for the which purpose. So for that, make a habit of practicing the things. Am I clear? So one thing is for sure, that in the question no hint or no mentioning of the element to be used will be given. Only the requirements will be given. Based upon that, you only have to identify the which element is used for that purpose. Am I clear? So in this you can see that the mark is used for the highlighting, for which you should be able to identify, yes, the mark is the element that has to be used for the content where you need to highlight the things. Okay. And strong, so for this you can see that if some of the text you want it to be displayed as a bold, so in that case you are supposed to use the strong element. Correct. Right. So code, if anything has to be displayed with a different font style as compared to the rest of the text in the web page, you are supposed to use the code element. So like this, you should be able to identify the all the elements wherever it is required, depending upon the requirements given in your question. Am I clear? Are you able to follow what I'm trying to convey you?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So put the heading as the character entities. Put the heading as the character entities. See, the theory question, possible theory questions are like explain the inline text elements, explain any 5, 6, or 7 inline text elements for which you need to write the name of these elements, and you need to write the description along with the example. And though the example has been not given here, so in the examination, if it has been asked, you have to write it with the example. So you may be also asked like explain the character entities, the different character entities supported by the HTML5. So in that case, you should be able to remember these entity names, if possible entity number, and for what purpose each of these entities are used. Okay. Okay. Now take a pen and put the heading as the character entities and note down only these names. No need to write everything from this slide. You can just write down only these things: ampersand nbsp semicolon, ampersand lt semicolon, ampersand gt semicolon, ampersand copy semicolon, ampersand euro semicolon, ampersand trade semicolon, ampersand uuml semicolon. So just make a list of it so that you will get to know that what you are supposed to write if any question has been asked on the character entities. Written? Written?
Ma'am.
Please let me know once you are completed writing. Written? Hardly it takes 2 minutes of time, and I just asked you to note down these things, not the entire things. Just the leftmost column from here. Okay. So for what purpose these character entities are used? So all of you are aware that whenever you write the any element, or whenever you use the any element or the content with a multiple spaces in the text, right? So by default, the HTML or the browser is going to ignore the multiple spaces, and it is just going to leave the only one space between the words over there. So in that case, if you genuinely want the all the multiple spaces to be used as it is what you have provided, you can go for using this entity. Either you can use the entity name, or else you can, if you are able to remember the entity, number. Okay, so NBSP, either you can use this name or you can use the ampersand hash 160 semicolon. Right. So similarly, you all aware that you are going to use these angle brackets to uh, yeah, for writing the elements, isn't it? So these are the notations you are used for writing the elements. But what if you genuinely want to use them as a part of the text in the HTML? So in that case, directly if you use this, probably you will get an error. So in that case, what you can do is you can use either these entity names or the entity number. I'll show you with an example that how you can use. But right now you just understand for what purpose these things are used. Okay. So if you genuinely want to use these angle brackets, opening and closing angle brackets as a part of the text in your HTML, so in that case, directly it is not going to allow you. Instead, you can go for using these ampersand LT semicolon and ampersand GT semicolon. Okay, so you can see here the copyright symbol. I don't know how many of you are aware of this copyright symbol. So this is a copyright symbol which has C surrounded by a circle. So if you want to use this symbol as a part of the text in the HTML, so you don't have the, sorry, you don't have this particular character in the keyboard from your laptop or the system. So in that case, you can go for using these two things, either ampersand copy semicolon or ampersand hash 169 semicolon. Right. So similarly, as for the euro symbol, so which is a currency from the Europe, right? So if you want to use this symbol as a part of the text, you can go for using these two notations. So you can see here the trademark symbol, which is at the superscript, so TM. So if you want to use this symbol, these two notations can be used, right? So umlaut mark is there, so which is u, above that you have the two hyphens or the two dashes. So if such a symbol is required to be part of your text, you can go for using these two notations, that is ampersand UUML semicolon ampersand hash 252 semicolon, right? So let's see with the execution about these things. So is this visible to you people?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So you can see here within the body, I have taken the all the examples with a separate paragraph tag here. So you can take with the any within a single paragraph, or else you can take even with the separate paragraph, right? So just for simplicity, I have taken the each of the example to be covered using the separate paragraph element here. So please do concentrate first here what is there, and once I execute that, you will get to know how does it is going to make appear on the web page here, right? So you can see here in the first paragraph element, I have taken the good followed by so many spaces and then morning here. Right. So I have not included any character entity over here. So that means by default, the browser is going to ignore all these multiple spaces and it is going to consider only the one space to be included between these two words. Right. Suppose in case if you want to preserve these multiple spaces, if you wish that all these multiple spaces needs to be used as it is, so in that case one of the way that you can use is you can use the either the entity number or the entity name. Here I have taken the entity number here. So how many times you have to use the entity numbers here, the number of the spaces that you want to leave between these two words, that many spaces or the that many notations you need to cover here. You can see here between the good and morning, I have included the 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 and 10 entity numbers here. So this is going to consider the 10 spaces to be reserved between the good and the morning here. Okay. So follow to that, you can see here you have the example where I want to make it appear as a 10 is less than 100 with a less than symbol in between. But the less than symbol is used for these angle brackets for the elements, isn't it? But if you genuinely want to use this as a part of the text over here, so in that case directly you cannot use it. Instead, what you can go for using is either you can use the entity name or you can go for using the entity number as well as I just shown. So here, either you can use ampersand LT semicolon or else you can use the ampersand hash 60 semicolon. Both are acceptable. Okay, so you can see here 10 ampersand LT semicolon 100. That means it is going to be displayed as 10 less than 100. So similarly, if I want to use the greater than symbol, So you can go for using ampersand GT semicolon. Okay. So the, as I told you, if you want to include the copyright symbol, so you don't have the any key in your keyboard with the copyright symbol. So at that time you can go for using the ampersand copy semicolon. Right. So euro symbol here I have just taken with the different notations, that is either the entity name and the number, just to make you clarify that both are acceptable. Right. So hash ampersand hash with the 8364, which is reserved for the euro. All these notations needs to be ended with the semicolons. Do remember here. Right. So similarly for the trademark, ampersand trade semicolon, and for the UO malt mark, it is ampersand UUML semicolon. Right. So let us run this program and let's see what result you will get here. So you can see here the first example here. So you can see here in the first example, in the first paragraph, you can see though we have left the so many spaces here, so it has just ignored all the spaces and it has included only one space. You are getting right? You are
Yes,
following?
ma'am.
Okay.
Yeah.
So in the second example, you can see here, I have taken the 10 spaces to be reserved here between the good and the morning. So it has taken the all the multiple spaces to be included. So this is because of using this character entity. Either you can go for using this numerical notation, or else you can go for using the ampersand NBSP semicolon. Okay. So similarly, you can see here, if you want to use the less than symbol as a part of the text, you are supposed to use this character entity. 10 less than 100, and 100, similarly 100 greater, sorry, 100, so greater than 100 I have taken here, so I'll just make it 100 greater than. Okay. So 100 greater than 10, right? So if you want to use this character symbol here, so you can see here, sorry, copyright symbol, you are supposed to use this character entity. So similarly for the euro symbol, trademark symbol, and the umalt symbol. So these are the few examples that has been given in your book or a part of a syllabus, as to mention you the what are the possible character entities that is being supported by the HTML. So you might be having the any other character entities as well. So whenever it is required, when you are when you are on the development of the web page, you can even search for the different notations as well. Okay. So are you clear with these character entities? Are you clear with these character entities?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
For what purpose it is used and how you can use them? Okay, so do remember everything. So which are going to be the part of your assignment. So whichever the elements that I am going to discuss every day, all these elements should be in as a part of your assignment in one or the other way. I don't mind where you use it, but I want it to be used. All the elements to be used in your assignment in a proper hierarchy. Okay. Images. So regarding the images, so while the image tag, so in order to include the image in the HTML page, you are going to use the image tag. So while the image tag is the oldest method for displaying an image, it is not the only way. For purely decorative images such as background gradients, patterns, logos, border art, and so on, it makes a semantic sense to keep such images out of the markup and in CSS where they more rightly belong. Right. See, what they are trying to tell here is, so of course the image tag is being supported right from the beginning of the HTML itself, but this is not the only way. Suppose if you are interested to have the more decorative images to be included in your HTML, either in the form of a background or the border, so at that time it would be better that the inclusion of all these decorative items to be as a part of the CSS rather in the HTML. right? But however, if the images are the contents of your HTML page, that is along with the text, if you are supposed to include the any images as a part of the content on the HTML page, at that time the best method to use is the image tag itself. Okay, now we'll see what is the syntax to be used for including the images as a part of the content in the HTML page here. Right, so image doesn't have the separate closing element. Instead, you have to close it here itself. Okay, so you can see here what is the syntax. As usual, it has to start with the opening angle bracket, and the name of the element here is img, not complete image. Many of you do a mistake here while writing in the examination. If you are said to include the image in the web page, you are going to write it as complete image. But then, though the name is image, but the element is termed as only img. Right. So follow to that, you have the two attributes to be used in this element. So one is mandatory and other is the optional here. So src, source attribute, is mandatory, whereas the alt attribute is the optional here. Right, so I'll tell you for what each of these attributes are used here, for what purpose these are used here. Right, so since you know that the image has to be included as a part of the web page, but when you put the image, automatically it is not going to take. You need to provide the source from where the image has to be fetched to make it to be displayed on the web page. Either it may be from your local system or from the some website, right? So in that case, the value for the source attribute is going to be the path of that image file. You need to mention the absolute path in case if the image is located in some other folders apart from where you have created the your HTML page, right? Suppose if you are having the image in the same folder, you can just mention the name of the file here. But ultimately, the value for this source attribute should be the path of a image file, and not only the file, the path of the image file, right? So follow to that, you are not going to use any comma over here. See, do concentrate every minute thing to understand the what is the proper syntax to be used for the every element here. So you do not have the any commas between the attributes. If you have the multiple attributes in an element to be used, you do not have the any commas to be used. Instead, you are just going to use only a space to separate between the attributes here, right? So source followed by a space, and one more attribute that you can use here, which is optional in the image element, is alt, right? So alt followed by the text. You are not only the image name here, I have just taken it as a example. So any textual information about that image. So when this is going to be useful is, you might have observed that whenever you open the any website, if you have any internet problem, or else if you have the any problem in displaying the particular image, so in that case, if the image is not displayed, probably it is going to display only the name of that image over there. Okay, so one more case is in some of the browsers, if you move the cursor on that image, it is going to show the information that you included in this attribute, that is in the alt attribute, right? So after using these two attributes, you have to close this element here itself. For the image, as I told you, you do not have the any separate closing element. Instead, you are going to close it here itself. So make a note of this syntax in your book now. Write down it. Write down it, syntax and the two attributes that you can use in the image element, and for what purpose it is used, you can note down it in your own words. Written? Written?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes.
Okay, so let us see this with an example now. So here you can see is an example where I have taken here to show you how you can use the image, right? So Within the body section, this is the heading that I've included as an image, and followed to that, you can see here I have taken the image tag to include the image. Since this file, that is the image file, is within the same folder, see, either the image can be in the form of a png or the jpeg or the png, right? So within the same file, within the same folder, that's why I have included only the name of the file here, right? So along with that, you can see here two more attributes also have used. So for what purpose these width and the height attributes are used here? To put a restriction on the size of the image, right? So if your image is too large, and if you want to compress it, or if you want to reduce the size, or if you want to increase the size of the image, you can use these two attributes to tell the browser how much width of the image can be considered and how much the height of the image is considered, right? So no unit is required, you can just use a numerical number to represent it and experiment with it, and then you can judge the what is the correct size that you can use for displaying the image. So follow to that, as I told you, alt is used to specify some information, textual information regarding that image. So I'll run this program and we'll see how it is going to display. So this is the example here. So if suppose the browser is not able to display this image, or if it has any problem in displaying this image, or there's a network problem to download this image, in that case, so in that case, whatever the information that you have given in this alt, that is going to be displayed, just to tell the viewer that there is some image over here regarding the HTML15 image. So I'll just show you how does it is going to make a difference here if you change the size. And instead of 200, I'll just make it as 100. You can see here it has been reduced. So depending upon your choice and depending upon the requirements, you can always use the width and the height attribute in order to put the restriction on the size of the image, whereas the source is used to specify the path from where the image has to be fetched, and alt is used to provide the alternate textual information about the image if the browser fails to display the image. Is everyone clear with the image element, or else do you have any doubt here? Is everyone clear?
Ma'am, how does the alt work?
That's what I told you. If there is a problem in displaying the image, so in some cases you might have observed that while using the any website, if the website or the network connectivity is slow, if the image is not able to be displayed properly by the browser, in that case image is not displayed. Instead, at least the information that you have given, this text information that has been given in this alt attribute, that will be displayed over there if the image is not able to be displayed. Here I'm not able to show you the how does it is going to work. Why? Because it is perfectly working, and the image is absolutely displayed over here, right? So if there is a problem in displaying this image, in that case, instead, if the image is not covered here, it is going to show the this one. Just I'll just show you. I'll try to make a correction here. I'll just purposely I'll just take the file which doesn't exist here. So let me see how does it is going to work here. Okay, so you can see here HTML15 image. So purposely I have taken the file which doesn't exist. That means the code which you have run, the HTML page which you are trying to run, the value within the source path, you can see here the value within the source path deliberately I have taken which doesn't exist in my folder. So in that case, it doesn't mean that you are going to get an error. So instead, if it fails to take the image what you have given here, if it fails to display over there, it is going to directly take the content. You can see here the content of the alt is HTML15 image. So just check out whether it has taken the same name over there or not. HTML15 image. So at least to tell the user that there is a image regarding the HTML15 image. Am I clear? Is it clear?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so I'll just change it. So now I have changed with the correct name here. Probably it will be able to display the image. Is it clear to you? The purpose of using all the attributes from the image. So what are the possible attributes that you can use in the image element? The source, height, width, and alt, right? So whereas the source is the mandatory attribute to be used in the image element, and rest of the other three are optional here. Is everyone clear with the image element?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So coming to the next concept, that is the lists. uh, I hope all of you know what is a list, right? So what is meant by list? What is meant by list? You are very much familiar, right? So you are if I ask you to do a list of the subjects that you are studying this semester, so you will do list, right? So starting with the any the subjects that you remember: WTA, Java, CG, right? SSCD. So you'll make a list. If I ask you to make a list of shopping, right, so you will sit and writing all the lists in order, isn't it? So these are nothing but the lists. You are familiar with the lists, right? Yes or no?
Yes, ma'am.
Please be interactive in the class. I'm asking you something. Okay. So for doing the list and creating a list in the web page is not going to be that easy, right? So you are not you will not be able to just include one dot WTA, one dot two dot Java as it is in the paragraph tag element or the H2, right? So it is not going to be a proper list in the HTML file. To create a list in the HTML, you have the separate elements. You are going to study the different elements that you can use for creating the lists in the HTML pages, right? So before that, first you need to understand there are the three types of the list: unordered list, ordered list, and the definition list. So you only tell me what is unordered list. See, these are very generalized terms which you use in your daily purpose. So not only for the study purpose. So whatever you are going to do in your day-to-day activities, whenever you want to create a list of the anything, you might be creating a list of the things that you want to do today. You might be creating a list of the activities that you have already done. You might be interested in writing a list of the subjects that you have studied, or the list of the work that you have done and which you need to do, right? So in order to do that, you have the three types of the list: the unordered list, ordered list, and the definition list. So what may be the unordered lists? I'm asking you something, isn't it? So please be interactive. What is unordered list?
List
Everything,
items with no particular order.
yeah, the items or the contents of the list is not mandatorily to be in a particular order, which may be in the any order, right? So for that, what are the notations that you usually use? For that, you are not going to use the numerical bullets over there. Instead, you are just going to use either disk bullet, dot bullet, or the square bullet, or the any bullet of the choice. Okay, isn't it? Right. So with contrast to this unordered list, what is the ordered list? Where the order of the items is going to be the same way what you are going to provide there. That means the first element should be the first item itself, the second one should be the second only. For that, you are going to use the numerical representation like 1 dot item 1, 2 dot item 2, 3 dot item 3. Okay. So follow to that, the third one is the definition list, where in case if you want to use instead of the bullets or the numeric, for that if you want to use directly test and followed by the definition of that term, the collection of the name and the definition page. So that is said to be as the definition list. So you will get to know once I show you an example. So at least you got to know that you can create the three different kinds of the lists in the HTML, right? So for that you need to remember what are the three different lists: unordered list, ordered lists, and the definition list. So here is an example you can see here. Do not concentrate on this coding part, first concentrate on these two, then you will understand what are the different elements that you can use here. So in this first example you can see here, what kind of list has been displayed here. This one, home, about us, products, contact us. What kind of list it is? Among the three categories of the list that we have just now discussed, so what kind of list it is? What kind of list it is it the ordered list, unordered list, or the definition list?
Unordered list, ma'am.
It is an unordered list, right? So where has been each of the item has been displayed here with a bullet, where the order is not going to play a important role. So home is appearing for the first, you may also take it at the third here. So what kind of list it is?
Ordered list.
Ordered list. So how you'll get to know that? You can see that numerical representation has been used. So nesting of the list is also permittable in the HTML5. So you can see here 1, 2, and 3, and in the third item you can see the one more level of the list creation has been done. One more hierarchy of the list is done. That means within the third you have the three more items to be included, again with the ordered here. So nesting can be ordered or the unordered, so both can be used in a contrast way. Okay, so we'll see what are the different elements used here. You can see here what are the different elements used here. So for the unordered list, the element you need to start here is with UL. So if you are having the pen and paper, please make a note of it. So these are the see, one thing I'll tell you is this list creation or the creating a web page for the list is going to be the one of the most important question, possible question that might be asked in your VTU examination as well as the internal. I'm openly telling you there is be a definite question on the list, right? So for that you should properly understand the what element is used for the, yeah, list creation, and which kind of the list creation and how you can do, because most of you do the mistake in this question itself. Right, so I'm definitely telling you that 99% in almost all the question papers of the VTU you have this question. You have the program question itself, not the theoretical question, programmable question on the list itself. Okay, so if you have the pen and the book along with you, write down it. For creating the unordered list, you need to start with the UL. The name of the element is UL, to tell that you have started creating the unordered list. Followed to that, so for adding the each of the items here, each of the elements to this, like home, about us, products, and contact us, for adding the items you have to use the li element here, right? So for creating the list, to say that it is an unordered list, you have to use the ul element, unordered in the sense ul element, right? So follow to that li as many as you want, depending upon the number of the items that you want to include here. So you can see here in the first example, li is the first element. Followed to that, the anchor element has been used. Why? Because the item that you want to include for the first one is a link that you want to provide here. So though it is an item to the unordered list, if it is a link, if suppose if you want to use it as a link, or even if it is an image, right? So in that case, if it is a link, you are supposed to use the anchor element after using the li. Once you have successfully created the link, and then you have to close. See, all the li needs to be closed simultaneously there itself, or else your list will not be properly created. Okay, so you can see here li has been opened here, and after completing the item that you want to cover here, here itself it has to be closed. So similarly for the rest of the items, so one more li for the next item and close it here itself. and one more li for the products and close it here itself, and one more li for the contact s and close it here itself. Once you feel that all the items that you want to include in this order list has been completed, you need to close this element here itself. Is it clear with this example? So what you need to
Yes,
remember
yes.
here is you need to remember the element that is used for creating the unordered list. The element that is used is ul, and the element that is used for adding the items to the list is li. Is it clear to you? Yes or no?
Yes,
Because
ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
only if you are clear with this, if you want, you can note down this example. But what is my intention is I genuinely want all of you to remember these things. I just want you to remember these things, and whenever I ask you to create any list, you should be able to recall all these things. Okay. So to this example, we'll see that how we are going to start, which kind of list we want to create here in this example. It is the
Ordered.
Order list.
ordered list, right? So probably you might have seen here the element that is used for creating the ordered list is ol. So for unordered list it is ul, and for the ordered list it is ol. Okay. So you can see here what is the first element, first item, introduction. So how to add the item? It is a simple text here. So directly include it in the li and close here itself. So similarly, second one, background, use one more li and close here itself. So what you need to remember here is separate li for the each of the items that you want to add. So we'll concentrate on this, how to do the nesting here. So in the third, you can see here my solution li and close here itself, and after that you take the one more li to make it a nesting level here, right? So to this nesting, what kind of list you want to create here? Again, it is a order, right? So for that you have to use the one more ol here. So wherever you require, you have to use the similar kind of the nesting here. So one more ol, and then followed by again all the three items that you want to include here. So you can see here methodology, results, and the discussion. By closing all of these li here itself, and soon after completion of this level of the ordered list, you need to close that ol here itself. This ol is to be closed here, and this li has to be closed here. See, closing of these all elements plays a very important role here. If you do a mistake of closing the elements, right, so probably the list, that the way in which you want to create list might not it appear in the same way on the screen. So if you want, you can experiment and you will get to know more about it. So for this, to become expert in this, you need to practice the more kind of similar kind of the examples, right? So you can see here this li for the nesting, what you have done, that has been closed here itself. So what has been done, my solution is created as it is, and under which you have the another listing level. So these are also the items, right? So for which you have to use the one more li here. So under which you have to create all the hierarchy elements that you want to cover, and you have to close this. Okay. And follow to that the last element, that is the conclusion li, and close the final ol here. So you can see here two ols has been used to make it for the nesting of these items here. So is everyone clear with this example as well? Is everyone
Yes,
clear with
ma'am.
this? Is it so? Okay. So I just want all of you to write the code to make these things appear on the screen, like list example as a heading, and followed by, you can see here unordered list is there, ordered list is there, again unordered with the ordered nesting level, and this is the definition, that is the dd listing here. So are you able to write, or do I have to show you? Do you want to try, or do I have to show you? Hmm? I'm asking you something. Will you be able to write it? Do you have any other class after this?
Yes, ma'am. The link is already given.
Okay. So quickly make a note of it, or else you can just take a image of this in your mobile, or take a screenshot. So before coming to the next class, that is the tomorrow's, before attending the tomorrow's class, I just want everyone to try out this. I want everyone to try out this. You try, at least you try. No matter whatever the result you get, just try it for creating the list exactly in the same way. So we'll discuss the two more examples on the list in tomorrow's class, and then we'll proceed. Okay. So have you taken the screenshot here?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So right now we'll wind up this class and we'll continue in the tomorrow's class with the same concept. Uh, so is there any doubt, or do you want to ask anything?
No, ma'am.
You don't have any doubts?
No, ma'am.
Okay. So